We continue our conversation now about challenges to vocations. We've talked about student loan debt, but with more and more Catholic dioceses in the U.S. relying on foreign-born priests to fulfill their needs in their parishes, we now look at potential stumbling blocks unique to them. They're called work visas and green cards. Reporter Roselle Reyes explains.
I am Father Carlos Rivera. I'm originally from Colombia, South America.
Father Carlos Rivera left his hometown to enter seminary in the United States, following his heart and answering the call to priesthood. He was eventually ordained a priest and incardinated into the Diocese of Savannah in June of 2020.
Now I am in one of the biggest communities of parishes of our Diocese of Savannah. It's a community of Sacred Heart in a little town called Warner Robins.
Father Rivera was welcomed into Sacred Heart Catholic Church in 2022, and he expected to live out his vocation in the Diocese of Savannah. However, with an unexpected procedural change in how green cards are processed for foreign-born religious workers, he will be forced to leave the country next year.
Yeah, that really took me by surprise, and I can know. I worry about that sometimes. What's going to happen with my community here?
To welcome a priest from another country, the diocese must file for one of two visas: the Temporary Religious Worker Visa, or R1, or the Special Immigrant Religious Worker Visa, EB4. If they seek permanent residency in the United States, they would have to get an EB4 visa. Until April of last year, the path to a green card was straightforward and seamless. However, the U.S. State Department recently revealed that for years it had been placing in the wrong line tens of thousands of applications for neglected or abused minors from Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador, and would now start adding those to the general queue with the clergy. According to the USCCB, there are now about 155,000 people in line for an EB4 visa, creating a severe and sudden backlog.
A priest applying for a green card today will be forced to wait an estimated 15 years before a resident visa becomes available to him.
Bishop Mark Seitz from the Diocese of El Paso, who also serves as chairman on the Committee of Migration for the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops, addressed this issue at the Spring Assembly held in June.
This means that the same priest would need to come on 3 separate R1 visas with at least 1 year in between under current regulations before receiving his green card. This is simply not sustainable for our ministries, and it is especially devastating for parishes that will be left without a pastor.
Echoing Bishop Seitz, Father Rivera says a year away from his parish community is too long.
I'm going to be able to keep working with these processes, that I have with some parishioners, some spiritual direction, some people that I'm helping and working with them because they're getting sacraments, because they're planning to be married the next year. For the summer next year. I don't even know if I'll be here next summer.
Father Rivera is only one of many foreign-born religious workers in the United States facing this dilemma. On the West Coast, the Archdiocese of San Francisco is set to lose 5 priests in the next couple of years.
The challenge is to continue to meet the pastoral needs of a very dynamic archdiocese.
Father Tom Martin is the Associate Vicar for Clergy for the Archdiocese. While he worked with many seminarians, the abrupt change in visa rules has also affected him directly. Father Tom, who also serves as pastor for St. Pius Church in Redwood City, California, says he recently lost a good priest who was doing great things in his parish.
It's impacted us, in ways that we couldn't have anticipated. So in an area where we have a growing number of Spanish-speaking Catholics, having someone like Father Edgardo just really helps to meet an incredible need.
These past 3 years have been a great blessing for me and my priesthood.
Father Edgardo is now living in El Salvador, waiting for the year-long wait to pass until he can apply for another R1 visa and hopefully return to St. Pius.
You will be deeply missed. You will always be a member of our family. You will always have a home.
To figure out exactly how many religious workers will be impacted in the near future, the USCCB conducted a recent survey, which revealed that about 70% of U.S. dioceses employ workers on a temporary R1 visa. Almost 30% of dioceses have had at least one R1 visa holder forced to depart in the past 12 months. Looking ahead to the next 12 months, more than 50% of dioceses expect one or more of their workers to be forced to depart.
This confirms what we thought to be the case, which is that this is an increasingly prevalent issue that dioceses are facing, and unfortunately, it's only going to worsen with time.
David Spicer is the Assistant Director of Policy for Migration and Refugee Services at the USCCB. He explains that the USCCB is actively working on solutions.
The USCCB has been very engaged on this issue, and we've met with the White House, the Department of State, the Department of Homeland Security, as well as many congressional offices to bring this situation to their attention.
Spicer said their primary recommendation is to shorten the one-year period between R1 visas.
We're just hoping that it will be a 30-day time frame, which then is much more manageable for dioceses and other organizations that are relying on foreign-born religious workers. And what we've requested of Congress is to exempt out the vulnerable children who are currently relying on this same allocation of visas as foreign-born religious workers, and to treat those children as the humanitarian class of immigrants that they are.
While the USCCB continues to advocate for foreign-born workers with no immediate resolution in sight, Bishop Seitz reminds us Catholics what the heart of the matter is when it comes to immigration.
What higher form of Christian charity is there than hospitality freely given to those in need, motivated only by the recognition of their God-given dignity?
Roselle Reyes, EWTN News in Depth.